So, hello and welcome to another episode on Spiritual Advice from the Barbarian Lunatic. My name is Christopher. You may call me Muscular Joe. You know, I'm not overly muscular, but when I was shooting myself in that video where I showed you the plank, I thought, you know, I look kind of fit. What a sexy dude. And, you know, sometimes, you know, if I pretend that I'm overly ugly, I actually can see the beauty in myself again. You know, sometimes I'm just as ugly as I can be. And that's also taking care of my shadow. You know, I don't try to be like overly pretty. You know, it's like some people, they really shave the hair between their eyebrows. You know, like they really make sure there's like a perfect neckline. They make sure that like this line is like perfect. It's like neat. It disgusts me. Because nature is not about perfection. I mean, like I said, it's like a balance between chaos and like insanity and sanity. But, you know, balance is within, in between. And so, yeah, I do get it in a way, right? Things are kind of confusing and we don't really know. And now I'm kind of insecure how many videos I've already recorded. And I think that I've recorded, I think it's like video number 3, but I can't really say because when it started it said like 00. So, you know, what can I do about it? Well, I can check, right? So, you know, I can check with myself how I'm doing. You know, you wake up and you feel shit. So what do? Right? I have nothing to give. I feel miserable. I'm just angry. So what do? I first serve myself. I first serve myself. And so, you know, at one point, you may learn, right? It's like, it's not just black or white. It's like black and white. It's like glued together. You know, that's your two halves. It's your yin and yang. It's what you carry inside. And like the way I see it is that there, you know, the path, the middle path is, you know, you're neither good nor evil. You're whatever. Whatever is necessary right now. So when you're faced with evil, sometimes you have to be a bit more evil, which doesn't mean like hurting people, because, you know, you're still also a bit good, right? No matter how evil you get, there's always a part of you that's also a bit good. And so I just like it to look like this because I think people respect me more. And I certainly respect myself more. Because with long hair, I just look like an idiot. And that's the other thing. I'm already so busy taking care of my emotions that I don't want to take care of my hair. And I can tell you why. Because look, this beard, it grows from here down. So I only cut away this a bit and I maintain it a bit, that it's like, you know, not like whoosh. But, you know, I make sure that it's all right. When my hair is growing, it's like everywhere. It's like growing into my ears. It's like behind my ears. It's like tickling and itching. And, you know, when it gets wet, it takes really long to dry. And I just don't like it. You know, it just really annoys me. I don't want to think about long hair. It pisses me off. It even pisses me off in other people. You know, it's okay. I think it's just not the time at the moment for me to have long hair. And maybe there will never be a time, which to me is perfectly all right. But at the moment, I'm a really angry dude. And that means this is the most honest I can be, you know, because I'm fucking angry. Why do you think really angry women become like these bold lesbians? Because they are so fucked up by men that they rather try to love women. But, you know, cutting off your hair is a sign of anger. I'm really angry. And partly I'm letting it out on myself. You know, and sometimes I deny myself certain comforts. See, I put that on myself. Cool, hey? You know, that's the kind of little things that make me somewhat happy. And that's the other side. Right, so sometimes something breaks and I just learn to fix it. But that also took a lot of patience. So it's important, I believe, to learn how to take care of yourself, how to take care of your needs. So today I woke up and I was empty, I felt shit, I felt miserable. So I said it already, you know, I watched a bit of, you know, I watched a movie, I made pancakes, I also ate them with sugar. Because although I think like, you know, I have to be overly perfect now and stop eating sugar, I also realize I'm back in the pit, right? I'm back in the gravel pit and I'm digging. And I thought, you know, I was done digging, because digging is really, really difficult if you're digging in your own dirt for that place of love, that little bit of light, right? You're digging for it. It's really hard. But the problem is, once you know how to do it, you can't resist doing it, especially when you know that digging is really liberating. You know, it's like before and after sex, right? This emotional work is having sex with myself. You know, that's the best way I can express it to you. You know, and that's why, you know, if YouTube were to ban me, I mean, I'm a person who has been I basically killed myself. I was at that point, but I made it out of it. So what I'm talking about is basically what I did to work with my depression. You know, shouldn't that be in YouTube's interest? You know, even though I'm a bit crazy, and even though I might be a bit mad, you have to understand that somebody who wants to kill himself, you know, he's like super mad. You know, I'm at least a bit sane, right? You know, I'm not harming myself. I'm not harming anybody. I don't run around with like, you know, machine guns. You know, I don't do mass murder or something. You know, I'm not a threat to anyone. I'm not a threat to society, you know. But I might be the one voice that can talk to people who are about to commit suicide, who are about to, you know, run into a school and kill lots of people. Because, you know, in this kind of society, everybody pretends to care, but nobody gives a shit. If you kill yourself, they don't do anything. You know, I've been there. I've said to my parents, you know, I have suicidal thoughts, and they said nothing. In the end, my dad said, you know, push through, but that's all he could say to me. In the end, it was up to me to face this part in myself that wanted to commit suicide. So, you know, that's the part that wants to be seen. It's that naked little kid that stands alone in the darkness, and you have to look at it. And if you don't look at it, at your ugly side, you know, there is no good or evil. You know, it's good and evil. So if you try to be good, you know, what are you keeping away from you? You're not going to truly live if you're just trying to be good, because you're just going to be everybody's bitch. But you're also not going to truly live if you're just trying to be bad all the time. So, it's somewhere in between good and bad. And that's what I found in spirituality, and that's a place that psychedelics showed me. But the important thing is always the intention. Right? So today I did all these things because I wanted to come here. And I didn't manage. So I was first taking care of my needs. So I drank coffee and ate pancakes, and I watched a show, and I talked for my German podcast, and I uploaded videos to YouTube, and then I left. When I felt ready, I left. I felt ready to share something, and then I left. And that's the way that I feel the most comfortable, so to speak. But yeah, it's a drag. But you could say this morning I was depressed. I was in a depression. Because there was some dark pit inside of me that needed to be taken care of, which means sometimes lying down, putting the hands on my chest, like holding myself. This is how I hold myself. Lying on my back. If I always run to people to hug me, I'm really dependent on people. And, I don't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to suck up to people anymore. And I can't tell you, I just can tell you I sometimes have voices in my head. And I've said that already, but that's just a kind of madness that surrounds everybody all the time. Just some people start to become a bit conscious about it, and then they start to take responsibility for their own madness, for their own emotions. And then, I get the feeling often it's just too much. Right now, it's like that. It's too much. It's a lot to take. There's always visions coming in, telling me this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen. I stay away from me, right? This is how I feel like. Please stay away from me. Just shut up, please, for 1 second, leave me alone. But it's just all flooding in. I cannot turn it off. It's just coming. It's ah! And there's that image. It's on Instagram, which I drew, where there's a little child, and then there's somebody, an evil creature calling the child to it. And then, I'm looming over it, completely fuck. How to deal with this? How to deal with all this evil that I see? How do I deal with people that act like they're really good, but actually they're really bad? Because they have all these bad thoughts. It's like that guy from the cinema. He acts like the nice daddy, but what he wants is he wants to fuck you in the ass. How can that be good? How can it be good to create a platform and then prevent people from saying or speaking their mind? How can that be something good? I don't get it. So role models are really important. Figure it out for yourself.
It's Christopher-Reusch.com.
And I really tried to be overly stupid today, but, I don't think that's what you need. I don't think you need more stupid. I think what you need is a guy who's a bit more serious. And that's exactly what plays into my hands. Because I'm too dark to be stupid. I'm too dark to be just nice. Right? And that's the kind of warrior energy. That's like Arjuna. He's a warrior. Now listen to Ramdas if you want, the yogas of the Bhagavad Gita. Check out my Telegram channel, you know, there is something in there, you find that on my website. Also, if you like a bit more interested in the Ouroboros and like male and female energy, check out The History and Origins of Consciousness by Erich Neumann. If you're generally interested in my work, check out my books. They are all available on tradition.com, which, you know, if you do buy them, I can only ask you, like, buy them directly with Tradition. My newest books are only available on Tradition because I don't want them on Amazon anymore, because Amazon to me is like really pretentious. There's so much trash lying in Amazon's cellar. I don't like it. And so, you know, I rather sell it just with Tradition. And if there are fewer people, oh, look at his English skills, he's saying fewer, you know, because people are something that's countable, you know. And if you say less, it's like less water, because, you know, you cannot really count water, right? You know, but people you can count, it's like 1, 2, 3, so it's fewer. Whoa, he's such a deep understanding of the English language, although he's German. How is that possible? Well, it is exactly possible because I've spoken a lot of English, and I also learned from people that were trying to teach me something, you know. And most people, you know, they just stop listening because they say, I know it already, because, you know, if you teach me anything, I look like I didn't know it before. Well, you don't know it. So, you know, I don't listen to people who don't know what they're talking about. And that's why, as much as I like my friend Tristan Nolting, you know, and as much as I appreciate kind of having him around, you know, I don't like listening to his podcast because he's lacking experience. You know, he has read a lot of books, he's very knowledgeable, he's quite smart, but he doesn't have experience. He just talks about what other people have read. And, you know, that's not bullying, that's just a fact. You know, some people, they have a lot of knowledge, but they don't have experience. And then they act like, oh, I'm really cool. But they're just like a leaf in the wind, right? You have to be strong. You have to make experiences. Stop reading books. Just go out there and do stuff, you know? Cycle somewhere, I don't know. Stop using your car all the time. That's how I feel like. You have to do something to be someone. And it's important. Thank you for listening.